Am I the a-hole for exposing family secrets? I, 15 male, have an uncle who loves to prank and joke. Even if you tell him to stop, he never stops. This Christmas, I was over there and all of a sudden, everyone was giving me dirty looks and icy glares. Apparently, my uncle joked that I had stolen $200 from his wallet, which is a lie. I didn't do it, and my parents dealt with it and confirmed it was a joke. A lot of people apologized to me, but some people didn't believe them. But it all came crashing down after dinner. My uncle was just joking around and roasting people even though everyone told him to stop. Then he saw me and said, "At least I don't look like a deformed gorilla." I snapped back, "At least I didn't have an affair." Context: my uncle had a 5-month affair with someone and my family covered it up on our family group chat and never told my aunt to keep the peace. Everyone looked shocked, and my aunt told me to give her proof. So I gave her the messages, and she left. She's now not talking to anyone. Now everyone says I took it too far and that he was just kidding around. Some relatives are considering cutting me off, while others are giving me the silent treatment. My parents are 100% siding with me and have been defending me. But now I'm wondering, am I the bad guy for exposing family secrets? Now for the top comments. Typically, taking the high road is always the best option. But your uncle's joke was to accuse you of stealing $200. That is not a joke, nor roasting. It disparages your character. I do think you went too far, but I understand why you did it. You just want him to stop, and nothing is working. And he did a crime. It was not a false accusation. Your poor aunt, living with that uncle of yours, he could have given her a disease. You may have saved her health. It's so sad that some of your family supports his ridiculous behavior. Uncle sounds like he has a personality disorder. Not the a-hole in the end. Best of luck. I try to steer clear of him. Not the a-hole. Uncle should have kept his mouth shut after the rest of the family told him to. Also, the family isn't any better. Uncle cheated on his wife, and the rest of the family knew and decided to keep the whole thing quiet? That is a whole family of a-holes. And why OP is getting flack from them for telling? Not the a-hole OP. Remember who does what here. You'll know who to trust and who not to. Well, they're all giving him crap because he has proven to his aunt that those people all decided to lie and conspired against her to keep his dirty little skeleton in the closet. They're mad because in one sentence, they all became the jerks. You push at people enough and you get what you get. Don't start trouble, won't be none. Not the a-hole. If someone had come back at him years ago, your uncle might not be the a-hole. He is. Yep, keep pushing and pushing. Don't be surprised when someone pushes back. Next story. Am I the a-hole for not inviting my brother's stepkids to my son's birthday? I, female 37, have a younger brother, John, male 35. Last year, he went through a brutal breakup. Found out his fiancée was cheating and had to cancel the wedding a week before. He was heartbroken and lost a ton of money. A few months later, he met Hannah, female 34, who's a mom for my kids' soccer team. My husband and I have 2 kids, and she has 3. Her oldest 2 are the same age as mine, plus she has a younger one. In October, John came to one of my kids' soccer events and they met. I didn't even introduce them. Fast forward a few weeks, and Hannah tells John she's pregnant. He was shocked, but got happy, and promised to be there for her and her kids. Now, they're all living with him. For Christmas dinner, my parents invited Hannah and her kids. She showed up with matching pajamas for all the kids, mine and hers, that said Cousin Crew. It felt weird because our kids don't even talk at soccer. She kept calling me her sister and later posted pics on Instagram with the caption, "Cousin Crew, new tradition, year 1. We figured she was just trying to fit in, but honestly, it felt super rushed. We don't even know her. Now here's where I might be the a-hole. My son's 10th birthday is this Saturday. He only wanted to invite his school friends for a video game and pizza party. Hannah's kids go to a different school. Yesterday, Hannah texted asking what my son likes. I told her she didn't need to get him anything, but that he loves Lego Star Wars. Then she asked what time the party starts. I told her, oh, no adults this year, and mentioned we'd be at my parents' on Sunday with a cake for family. She replied, saying she'd drop off all her kids at the party. I told her, sorry, but my son only invited his school friends this year. She said, come on, cousins are always invited. I told her, but I never invited them. Why would you think they are? She didn't reply. An hour later, John called me, yelling that I'm cruel because Hannah's pregnant, trying so hard to fit in and I didn't include her kids. I explained the situation again, but he said I'm a giant a-hole and need to teach my son empathy by including family. So do I just suck it up and invite her kids? Am I the a-hole? No, you've done right by your son. He invited who he wants. His party doesn't need to include strangers to appease your brother. Her being pregnant is irrelevant. Her trying hard to fit in is obvious, but also irrelevant. Her kids will be present for the family event. That's enough inclusion already. Not the a-hole. I think he was saying they were planning to have a lone/date night while kids at a birthday party. She's pregnant and deserves this is what John meant. My uncle married a woman with young kids when my siblings and I were adults. In the beginning, his new wife tried that cousins thing exactly once, and we all just gave her stone-faced looks. There's nothing wrong with becoming a blended family as you go along, but this girlfriend seems to really be pushing it. In October, John came to one of my kids' soccer events, and they met. I didn't even introduce them. Fast forward a few weeks, and Hannah tells John she's pregnant. This math ain't mathing. And John swears he used protection. My parents questioned, and John got furious. My parents were afraid of losing John, so they stopped questioning. John is old enough to make his own life choices, but you don't need to be included in them now. Now for the update. John called my mom to complain about the situation. She told him it wasn't a big deal since even the birthday boy's sister wasn't invited and was just coming over to watch a movie with her during the party. We will all have a little party and cake at our place on Sunday anyway. That made John even angrier because he thought Hannah's kids should have been invited to my mom's place to hang out with my daughter too. He lost it and said we were excluding Hannah from everything. My mom tried to explain it wasn't like that and that she was just hanging out with my daughter. Now John and Hannah have blocked us everywhere. I'm honestly heartbroken because I feel like this is going to end badly. I just hope he reaches out when he's ready. Next story. Am I the a-hole for telling my dad it hurt my feelings that he is a better dad now that he's a stepdad and wouldn't do it for me? My parents got divorced when I, 17 male, was 7. My dad was never the best dad or the worst dad. He wasn't a monster or neglectful, but he never made time for me. When he wasn't working, he'd be doing chores and stuff at home, and he mostly left me to do whatever I wanted. If I asked him to hang out with me, he'd say later, and later never came. Or he was too busy and said maybe another time, but the other time never came. He encouraged me to do as many extracurriculars as I wanted, and he hired a babysitter to take me to and from those after school. He went to parent-teacher conferences with my mom, but I don't remember him being at very many school plays or sport games. The few times he showed up, he'd be gone before it was over and wouldn't mention it. And sometimes he'd be so distracted, he'd ignore questions I ask. It always made me sad, and I asked him to spend time together pretty often. When I found out he was dating someone, it was a surprise. But then it hurt me again because I found out he was spending time with her and her kids and bonding with them. He did eventually include me in that for a few months before they moved in together, but I was pretty devastated, not gonna lie. I saw him be such a different person, and since they got married, he's become a way better dad. But it started with them, and it hurts and makes me angry too. I don't want them to have better than me. I hate that they get better from my own dad than I did until they came along. He's taken more of an interest in me, but I pulled away, and I rejected a lot of his attempts. He takes us all out to do stuff, and when I see how much time is spent with them and the bond he built with them, it makes me want to tell them all to go buzz off. His wife has called me out for not being warmer to her kids and for not trying to get to know them like they've tried to get to know me. My dad has set up a rotation for different things with different kids, and I'm included in it. But it doesn't feel like enough when I have to watch him include them when they got this stuff before me. He sat me down a few weeks ago and told me he felt like I was unhappy and wanted us to talk. He said his wife told him that when I'm here, I don't interact with her or the kids, and that I come across as being angry at her kids. A few times, I walked away, but it looked like I was going to be mean. He asked me what was up, and I told him exactly how I felt. I told him it hurts me to see him be this great dad because he met them and became a stepdad, but would it do it for me? I told him it ticked me off so badly. I told him where was that dad for me? And why did he give them the dad he is now first? Why them? Why not his own kid? I told him they're not his real kids. They're not the kid who wanted so badly for him to spend time with him. I am. I told him I deserved it, not them. They were just his wife's kids. I pointed out how often I tried to spend time with him before he met her, and how he'd brush me off, or how little he showed up and took an interest. I asked him how I was meant to be happy he was trying now when they got it first, when they started it, not me. I told him I couldn't be glad for them. He told me he was sorry and he started to get upset. He said he didn't really reflect like he should have on his feelings and that he heard everything I said. He said he was so sorry he wasn't better and all this stuff. He told me he wanted the chance to make it up to me, but he couldn't just ignore them now either. And to do better for real, he needed to give me a one-on-one time, but he also needed to still keep spending time with them. He asked me if I was okay with it. I said no. I told him I wanted him to ignore them and only care about me, but I know that's not fair. It just doesn't seem fair that they got this better version first. I told him it kills me to see it. We talked some more and we agreed it would be better if I live with mom and he takes time with me, and he's doing that. But after Christmas, his wife reached out and she told me she heard everything I said, and how unfair it was to punish her kids with what I said when they're not responsible. She said I made my dad feel so guilty too, and how that wasn't fair when I should just enjoy the fact he's doing better. Am I the a-hole? Now for the comments. Not the a-hole. Your feelings are super valid here. It's rough seeing your dad level up for someone else's kids and feeling like you missed out on that version of him growing up. It's okay to feel hurt, but maybe consider this a chance to build something new with him, even if it started rocky. Keep your head up. You're navigating tough emotional waters, and that takes strength. We're working on it. He's trying, and I'm glad. I just can't watch him with them and have us make progress. It's why we have the new agreement. Could you ask your dad to do family therapy, just the two of you? It could help you both process and move on from the past, as well as deal with any roadblocks moving forward as you try to build something new. It can help to have an unbiased person helping to navigate the situation. They can also help your dad with addressing the situation with his new wife and kids. I'd rather wait a while before doing that, but it's something I can bring up later. I just want to see what he can do without therapy first. Not the a-hole, but his wife is a total a-hole for calling you to complain about a conversation that she had no place in and trying to guilt you into being a sibling to her children. Right? Like, way to kiss goodbye to any progress that was made, lady. What is with the steps on here, reaching out to these kids behind the bio parents' backs, against their wishes, and meddling in a situation that was properly being addressed? The rage. OP is not the a-hole. Yep. Instead of interfering, she should be supporting her husband's efforts to repair his relationship with his son. Last story. Am I the a-hole for refusing to babysit my sister's kids for free anymore? I, 29 female, have been babysitting my sister Lily's 35 female kids, Ben 8 male and Ella 5 female, for years. Lily's a single mom, and I love my niece and nephew dearly. I've always been happy to help out, especially since Lily has a demanding job and often needs someone to watch the kids in the evenings or on the weekends. However, recently, it started to feel like I'm being taken for granted. What started as occasional evening has turned into me watching the kids 3 to 4 times a week, sometimes for entire weekends. Lily doesn't even ask anymore. He just tells me, "You're free Friday night, right?" Or, "I'm dropping the kids off in an hour." I work full-time, and I have my own life and responsibilities. Babysitting this often has started to take a toll on me, both mentally and socially. I've had to cancel plans with friends multiple times because Lily needed me. She never offers to pay me, even for long stretches, And while I don't expect to profit from helping family, it would be nice to feel appreciated. Last week, Lily asked me to watch the kids for an entire weekend because she wanted to go on a trip with her friends. I told her I couldn't, as I already had plans. She got upset and said I was being selfish, claiming I don't understand how hard it is to be a single mom. At that point, I calmly told her that I love her and the kids, but I can't keep babysitting for free whenever she wants. I suggested she look into hiring a sitter or finding a daycare service for the times I'm unavailable. She flipped out, calling me ungrateful and saying family should help each other without expecting anything in return. Now, some of our relatives are weighing in. A few agree with me, but others think I'm being unreasonable and that I should just suck it up since I don't have kids of my own. I feel bad because I know Lily's struggling, but I also feel like I'm being used. Am I the a-hole? She flipped out, calling me ungrateful and saying family should help each other without expecting anything in return. So, what exactly would you be ungrateful for? I mean, what help have you been getting from her or other family? Has she been giving you massive amounts of assistance in other areas of your life or other members of your family? As you described things, this seems pretty one-sided. But if there is some other half of this that you aren't talking about, you could also Uno reverse and ask her to babysit her own kids this weekend as you have plans. If she balks, you could talk about family helping each other out, not the a-hole. It amazes me how the excuse is, since you don't have kids of your own, yet people expect these kids to be watched, sacrificed for, and cared for like the free babysitter birthed them. Not the a-hole. Lily is a user and is trying to emotionally manipulate you. She has a good deal, free babysitting anytime she wants so she can have her demanding job in a social life. That just isn't the case for most single moms. It is completely unreasonable for her to believe she can schedule something that requires you to babysit without talking to you first and getting your agreement, especially for entire weekends. As for your relatives that she has enlisted to gang up on you, they are enabling her selfish behavior and participating in her emotional abuse of you to get her way. Tell those suckers that if they believe Lily needs support, then by all means they can step up and help provide that. But it is none of their business how, when, or if you choose to support your sister in any particular way. Their argument that you don't have kids, so you should do this, is one of the dumbest ones I have ever heard. It's not the first time I have heard it, but it's still one of the dumbest ones. The fact is that a parent with similarly aged kids is better equipped to watch kids for a prolonged period of time, and parents who have older kids are probably next in line. The only thing you have is maybe more time because you aren't juggling multiple people's schedules, and that you love the kids. It's not fair of her to take that time from you. I doubt she plans on doing the same for you when/if you have kids. If you have chosen not to have kids, it's also unfair to force her kids on you.